I'm running out of time. I just want to say two quick things. The purpose of the promise of the Holy Spirit. In Acts chapter 1, but you will receive power when the Spirit comes on you, and you will be my witnesses in Judea and Samaria and all the ends of the earth. I believe that God gives us the right equipment for the job, the right tool for the job, the things that we need. When I was growing up, I was doing an O-level in woodwork. And so I began to accumulate some tools. And I went out and I bought myself, among other things, a set of beveled edge chisels. If you're wondering what a beveled edge chisel is, that's what a beveled edge chisel is. One day, my brother decides he wants to change the plug socket on a light or something. He's 2 years older than me. He's supposed to be mature. He goes to my toolbox, and in the left-hand side of my toolbox are my chisels. In the right-hand side of the top tray are my screwdrivers. My brother takes a chisel. He then decides to change the plug, which he does successfully, without actually putting the chisel through his hand. He then places the little plastic cap back on the end of my chisel, places it back in my toolbox, and walks off. Next time I come to use my chisel, I take the plastic cap off, and I can't use it because it's chipped and damaged. It needs grinding down. It needs resharpening. So I go to my brother, say, "Brother," or words to that effect, "have you used my tools?" "Yes, I changed the plug." "What did you use to change the plug?" "First thing I could find." "You used a chisel?" "Yes." "Did you cut yourself?" "No." "Good, because I'm about to." "What do you think you're doing?" And then a fight ensued and all this kind of stuff that teenage brothers do. The Holy Spirit is what we need to be empowered to make a difference in our world. If we try and use our own ability, our own energy, our own thoughtfulness, our own intellectual prowess, we will be like trying to change a plug with a chisel. We will be damaging the reputation of the church. But if we use that which God has given us, the presence of the Holy Spirit, we will begin to discover that actually we have the right tools for the job. And just finally, I said 5. What do the people of the promise look like? I'll turn around. What do we look like? The promise of the Holy Spirit. In Mark chapter 16, verses 17 and 18, we read these words. "And these signs will accompany those who believe. In my name they will drive out demons. They will speak in new tongues. They'll pick up snakes with their hands. And they'll drink deadly poison. It will not hurt them at all. And they will place their hands on the sick. And they will get well." Sadly, you can go to YouTube or see some documentaries where some people in churches hold up snakes and say, "Look, aren't we really special Pentecostals?" What is being said here is not in a church meeting. In fact, we have a picture of that when the Apostle Paul was himself bitten by a snake, yet came to no harm. He wasn't in church. We're not going to bring out a load of adders here and watch them multiply. I can wait. We're not going to do that in church. But what is being recorded here, what's being said here is this is what the church is going to look like. And there's a key phrase within that, because what is actually said here is that these signs will accompany them. These signs will follow them. That's why Elam's statement of belief on the Holy Spirit says this, "And the believer is also promised an endowment of power as the gift of Christ through the baptism of the Holy Spirit with signs following." Being Pentecostal doesn't mean we follow signs. Doesn't mean that we get all Christianized superstition and we start looking to, because, I mean, my family grew up, I was always told, throw salt over your shoulder if you spill any, and all this kind of thing. All it did was make a mess. Not to put up umbrellas in the house. That was a superstition. I can't remember what it was attached to. It's just you knock over your ornaments. Don't put shoes on the kitchen table because somebody will die. That was what I was brought up with. Now, why wouldn't you put shoes on the kitchen table? Because your shoes are dirty and that's where you eat. It's just, but all that kind of thing. But sometimes I've met Christians who will swap that and say, "Oh, this must be what God's saying." We go around looking for signs. We try and follow signs. Can I say this, my friends? Being Pentecostal is not that we follow signs. Being Pentecostal is that signs follow us. Oh, Signs follow us. So weird things happen around these extraordinarily empowered people who are called by God to be filled with his Holy Spirit. Weird things happen around them, like people get well. Like things that should naturally kill you or associated with death, like drinking poison. Now, please don't start going home saying that we must drink poison with our Sunday roast or our buffet at the Panto lunch or all these kind of things. Please don't do that, because that's not what's being said here. What's being said here is the things that should kill you don't kill you. Not good. Oh, dear. Win Lewis used to say this. He said, boring preachers should not be shot. No, sorry, I got that wrong. Win Lewis never said that at all. He said this. He said, boring preachers should not be poisoned, because you can't kill them that way. You shoot them instead. So what we begin to discover is that as an empowered people, we don't change. We become empowered. We may or may not speak in tongues. We may or may not prophesy, but something changes. We become an energized, vibrant people. And as we carry the Holy Spirit with us, who is constantly prodding us back to the battlefront, we begin to discover that things around us start to happen, and people begin to associate that change with us, because we are the only thing that has changed. Does that make sense? Bit of a convoluted sentence. But when we get into the presence of God, my friends, we become a vibrant people. We become a people that are empowered. We used to sing an old song for I'm building a people of power. Do you remember that? I don't sing that anymore, mainly because the tune wasn't that great. But I don't sing anymore, but there was truth in that. We would respond, build your church, Lord. Make us one, Lord. Join our hearts, Lord, through your Son. Wonderful. My friends, God is still trying to build a people of power. And guess what? You're it. Yeah. You and you and you and you and you and you. You're it. Somebody comes up to me and says, you're Pentecostal. I wear that with honor. I take that on board. I was born again in a Pentecostal church. I've been outside a Pentecostal church. I've been in independent churches. I've been all over the place in my travels. But I do know this. I'm still a Pentecostal Christian. And what we do now is we ask the Lord to fill us with his Spirit. And we're not going to sing again. I'm not going to sing. Just going to ask the Lord to fill us. This morning, you may not have, and I know children are going to come down in a second. We're not going to take long. You may never have been filled with the Holy Spirit. You may never have realized that the Spirit is for you, but something I've said today has resonated with you. Some of you have been filled with the Holy Spirit many, many years and many, many times because you've leaked him. You've used up that which you've gone and you've been empowered. But this morning, if you would like to be filled and baptized with the Holy Spirit, that we understand that there is more to the Holy Spirit's work than just this and just becoming a Christian. And in future, as we unpack these themes throughout the year, I will talk more about this.